on in the room. Oh, come on. Hey, y'all, welcome to another special edition of When Tidewater Talks. I'm here at I love it. He's already on it. I'm here at the Bethany Baptist Church in the wonderful city of Chesapeake, Virginia. I'm here with my newly found brother and friend. I tell you, when he was talking to me before we came on live, I was getting some information, and I did not realize that I'm talking to a legend from the 80s. If anybody know about the SeaTac, Virginia Beach area, then you would have known about Pastor Joseph Turner. So I just want to turn it to him. Thank you so much, Pastor, for coming and talking to Tidewater. How you doing today, sir?
Fine, sir. How are you?
I'm great. I'm better now, and I'm glad to have you to take time out of your busy day, a pastor, to come and talk to old Tidewater. So, like I do with everybody, if you could just open us up with whatever song that's on your choosing. And we're gonna go on. Let's get started. Tell you, I was ready to wall on the floor. That's what I'm talking about. I love that classic sound. So listen, Pastor, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Joseph Turner? Tell us about yourself.
Well, Joseph Turner is a little fellow, not so little in stature. But, I was raised primarily in the SeaTac section of Virginia Beach, and I was product of parents who were divorced, and so I lived with my paternal grandparents, I lived with my maternal grandmother, and I lived with my mother. My mother was in the military. Okay. So I went to like 8 different elementary schools. Oh wow, traveling evangelist from birth. And some of that time was spent overseas in Worms, Germany. Okay. I always had an interest in music, even as a child. I never had a piano in the house, but I always listened to the musicians. I always was attracted to music, and even when we were in Germany, we went to the gospel services. You didn't have really a Baptist or Pentecostal, it was gospel. Yes, sir. The pastor you had was whoever the black chaplain was. And so we had a little bit of Baptist, a little bit of apostolic, a little bit of Pentecostal. And even as a child, I just wanted to listen to the musicians and hear what they were doing, even though I didn't have a piano. And I never forget when we were over in Germany, in Worms, that it was a church or the chapel service, gospel service from Bitburg.
Okay.
Bitburg, Germany. Man, they had to sing this choir in Germany. And so we would just listen to the organist and how he played. But I grew up listening to two organists in particular. That was Deacon Ed Shaw. He was an organist at St. Stephen Church of God in Christ. And of course, the famous, world-renowned, if you will, Superintendent Anthony M. Oles.
Oh, so you're talking about CTAC, St. Stephen's, Bishop Thomas.
Burden Road, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Pastor El Burden was the pastor back then.
Okay.
When I was attending, my grandfather was a deacon, my grandmother was a deacon's wife, and so I grew up listening to Chuck, Superintendent Oles, Deacon Ed Shaw, and Alice Waller. She's my cousin.
Oh, wow.
Grew up listening to those individuals when I was living with my paternal grandparents.
Yeah.
My maternal grandmother attended, and my family on this side attended Newmont Olive Missionary Baptist Church over on Fernwood Farms Road. Jonathan Foster is the pastor there.
Okay.
And there was a lady by the name of Miss Goldie Harris, and she played. Well, they had a little teeny hammer, but she played and she played hymns. But I grew up listening to those musicians, and I didn't get a keyboard, a Casio, until I was 14 years old, and just started playing. And what I learned in school, I was in a marching band, and my grandparents they would not let me play at church.
Oh, wow.
They said you ain't playing good enough yet, folk gonna laugh. So they would not let me play. I would take the keyboard sometime to church and try to play it. But I didn't start playing in church until I was about 17. My grandmother passed, and she was my Uzziah, if you will.
Okay.
And I was her Isaiah. And it was then that I had to, experience God for myself. And I started playing because during that time, Deacon Shaw had passed. And so really nobody was there. Chuck or Superintendent Oles, he was playing other churches.
Right.
He was playing at Piney Grove and different churches in St. Mark, AME. And so a lot of times on Sunday, nobody would be there. Yeah. We had this brand new Hammond Elegante. Woo. 2 Leslies.
Oh, y'all was screaming it.
Hooked up to that thing, and nobody was there to play it. And so after my grandmother passed, my grandfather, he went through his grief period. So I was a lot of times going to church alone. Right. So I would get on the organ and do what I learned how to do. Yeah. And I just started with revivals, and I started with things like that, and just began to grow and experience playing ability. I didn't learn how to play well. I don't think I play well now. I just let the Lord.
Oh, you play pretty well, sir.
But I didn't know how to really play. I knew some basic chord changes, and I had that Hammond Elegante. It had the electronic drums, so I had that up there, and then I had little transpos that went down 4 up 2. Yeah. And I started playing that way. So that's. But I'm a pastor now.
Yeah. And you're the pastor. Where's your church at, Pastor?
Memorial Missionary Baptist Church in Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
Wow.
I'm the pastor and the music minister there.
I love it. So I love it.
Do both of them.
So how was it? Growing up in a COGIC church in a historic St. Stephen's, with other musicians that would come in and visit, and even Pastor Oles, Superintendent Oles being there. How was it? As a young person, did they shun you away because you couldn't play? How did they appreciate you in your beginning stages?
It was difficult. Okay. Because, like I said, during that time, Superintendent Oles was really on assignment in other churches. He was the state minister of music. He was a national pianist. So a lot of times he was not there. It was difficult for me because I was the one that had to play every Sunday. I did not have that much ability. I was limited in my keys, and the hardest choir to play for was definitely the young adult choir or the youth choir at that time. Because they just wasn't having it. I was not able to keep up. I certainly was not playing like Superintendent Oles, so it was very difficult. But what helped me during that time is that I was a servant. I didn't mind. I played for everything. Those revivals, those prayer meetings, Bible study, whatever. I played for those services, and the older people, they appreciate it.
Yeah.
Son, keep on playing. They anoint me with oil, pray
Yeah,
for me.
I know about
and
that.
I kept on going. I remember one time I played 3.5 months straight for revivals that they had going. And at the end of that 3.5 months, they said, we want to show Brother Andre that we appreciate it. Come out here playing. And they took up an offer for me, and they gave me a whopping $13.47.
Wait a minute, 13 whole dollars?
13, well, it wasn't whole because there was so many quarters. The little gold envelope looked like a Twinkie.
Oh my God.
But they gave me that, and I was happy.
Yeah.
I was very happy. But it was a little difficult for me playing for the young adult choir because I just couldn't do it. And then one night, a guy came. He was a drummer at that time from New Community. It was a district meeting. And, he said, "Y'all get him off this organ and tell Chuck then basically chicken sandwich. He said, tell him to come up here with it." I couldn't keep up. But one person in particular, it was a district meeting, and the late I can't remember his first name, but he was an Edmonds, Superintendent Edmonds' brother. He was a district organist, pianist, and it was a district meeting. And he said, "Listen, I need you to play for the choir tonight." And it was "Word is the Lamb" by Douglas Miller. And I was scared to death.
Wow.
And I didn't know some of the chords, and he showed me a few of them. And the choir, he worked with me that night. Let me play for the district meeting. I thought I had arrived. I was scared.
Well, Pastor, listen. You taking us down memory lane, and you know I love history. That was my favorite subject in school. So, if you could take us back to St. Stephen's, play one of those songs that you would hear. It don't matter if it's a testimonial type song, if it's devotion, whatever you want to hear. What's a good song that we will hear in St. Stephen's in the 80s when you were there?
It was every song. The army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. And see,
it was all those, and those were the only ones I could really play back then. But that was the typical kind of music that I was doing because I was just revivals and prayer services.
Right.
I never forget Get Up, Who's on the Lord. So I had to try to play that one Sunday. I was struggling. I didn't know. I just didn't know contemporary music at that time. So
how did you evolve? Did you ever become the organist or the minister of music at St. Stephen's? Or
no, I did not become the minister of music at St. Stephen's. I was an unofficial organist for quite some time when Superintendent O was busy. But I left in because like I said, I had dual upbringing because I was not always at St. Stephen's.
Right.
There were times when I was at New Mount Olive, Missionary Baptist Church, but I didn't play at all there.
At New Mount, okay.
I started playing at St. Stephen's. And so I never became proficient as an organist during that time.
Okay.
So I just kind of started playing. I moved to Maryland with my mom. She was in the military station at Fort Detrick in Frederick, Maryland. And I started playing at Quinn Chapel AME Church. And I learned hymns there. There was a white gentleman who was partially deaf, and he played their organ. So I learned how to play those hymns listening to him. So
wow. So you said you was in the AME church for a little while. So that means you sung the hymns that we typically might skip over.
And some of them not top 10.
I know what you mean.
So that was the experience that I had.
Well, speaking of hymns, what would be or I guess should I ask, do you have a favorite hymn?
Every hymn in the book is my favorite. I love all of them. If I had a favorite hymn, I would say, to God be the glory. Not Andre Crouch's, but
Okay.
To God be the glory.
Yes, sir. Listen, it's nothing that can really replace the sound of a traditional Hammond organist, because I'm telling you, sometimes I've done so many interviews and a lot of people look for the riffs, the runs, the glamour, and they forget the basics of the organ playing. And I love good organs. I'm biased anyway, so I like hymns. I'm an old man in a young body. But what advice would you give to that young musician who was similar to yourself, who didn't have someone really there to, hold their hand and show them everything? What advice would you give to that church who wants to learn, but they don't have anyone to show them?
The advice that I would give to any musician that is starting off is to really put themselves in the way of playing in a non-limelight setting. That is the prayer services. That is revivals, not the citywide revival, not the stage, but playing in the revivals where there's nobody there but the faithful few. Putting yourself in a place where you're listening to basic music. I find a lot of musicians want to learn progressive music, and so they start listening to progressive musicians. For instance, you just start playing, you cannot listen to James Hall's music.
Right.
And then you learn a few chords from that song that don't fit anywhere in a morning worship setting.
Absolutely.
You playing for singing choir, you trying to play chords and jazz progressions that have nothing to do with the ability to play during a morning worship service. So learn some basics. There are too many how-to videos.
Yeah.
Go with basic. Don't try to get on YouTube and get somebody that's been playing for years and doing jazz stuff. Get somebody, and I'll say this, find a Caucasian, a basic pianist or organist, or an African American, whatever. Find somebody and learn some of the hymns. Yeah. Because if you learn some of the basic chord structures that are found in the hymns, they are found in all of the progressive music.
They are.
And it will give you a foundation for music theory. If you can get some books and some videos to help you with basic music theory, do that. If you have a good ear, listen to musicians that are playing and be able to mimic their style. Right.
So when trying to learn and study, how should one pattern? Some people learn music just for. Some people practice just to learn music, as opposed to some people practice just to better their craft. What advice would you give to the young musician who's really trying to find himself in regards to? They don't sing hymns in my church. All they do is contemporary, but people are always criticizing the young musicians for not being able to. What advice would you give to him?
Try to learn 2 or 3 genres of music. Okay. And your personal time. Take the time to learn traditional music, because just because you're at your church now doesn't mean you'll always be there. The Lord will take you to a church where traditional music is what they do in conjunction with contemporary, and you will be able to, land that job better if you have some experience. Learn different styles of music. Listen to all kinds of music. Listen to some basic music. And don't limit yourself to listening to only gospel.
Well,
listen.
Hold on, you're a pastor and you said don't only listen to gospel?
On my way here, my serious station was on jazz.
Uh-oh.
That's a relaxing kind of music
Right,
for me.
right.
Learn different kinds of music. Don't just limit yourself to, I think for me, when I first started off, I wanted to play just like Chuck. And so I was trying to play just like him and all the chord changes he was doing. Now, of course, some of the chord changes he was doing when I first started to play, he wasn't even doing it by the time I started playing.
Right.
So don't limit yourself to one kind of music. If you're a COGIC organist, don't only listen to COGIC musicians.
Right.
Listen to some that do not have that style.
Yeah, so much more.
Listen to some of the Methodist organists. Listen to some of the Crystal Cathedral stuff.
Yes, sir.
Listen to different types of music that don't limit what you can do.
Now, before I'm gonna ask you one more question, I'm gonna ask you to play something. A lot of people tend to frown when people say the word money and paying musicians, or they say, you ought to be doing this for the Lord. He gave you the gift, so give it back to him. Or some argue the point where, a workman is worthy of his hire, so I'm due the money that you give. What advice would you give to those musicians who are just pay me, organists? Because that's a whole different spirit, I believe, for one that will come in and really wanting to play to service the church, but as opposed to just strictly there for a check. What would you say to that?
Well, I both sides. I say I'm the pastor of my church. I'm the music minister. I get paid for both of them.
Right.
Don't play for money. Okay. Don't play for money. Okay. Negotiate. Get paid. Don't go in saying I can pay for $500, son, you need $750. Don't go in talking about $250 and you need $8. Don't play for money, but market yourself in a way that people understand that if you're going to play, then you ought to be paid a sufficient amount of money. If you're going to do it part-time, you might be able to go in and do it for $275, $325 a Sunday. Right. But if a person is trying to do that full-time, you need full-time pay. Churches need to come up with benefit packages for their ministers of music.
You ready to start a ride?
That means vacation time. That means sick leave. And that means something involving retirement. How many times you see musicians, they get 55, 60, 70 years old, and then the folk are talking about they driving that ragged car and clothes ragged. But you have never allowed them to have a full-time job. And I know a lot of organists right now who were playing for churches full-time and getting paid part-time. And they lost jobs because they had to be there for those funerals. They had to be there for those services. And now they've gotten 65 or 70 years old. They weren't paying. The churches weren't paying Social Security, paying them in cash, and all that kind of stuff. Then they got there and talk about, you come here looking terrible. But you did it to them. The person couldn't keep a job. She couldn't keep a job. So full-time organist work was almost unheard of in most churches. And they took that same kind of spirit. Pastors look at the same thing. They took that spirit that is for the Lord. No, if you are going to put all this money in pews and lights, and you want the choir to sound like a stellar recording artist, then you need to put out that kind of money to ensure that what you're looking for as far as what is produced is what you're investing in the individual. But I would say to any organist, don't play simply for the money.
That's it.
Get paid. I understand that. Negotiate beforehand. Don't go if they cannot do, unless you're going by faith, then you say, okay, let's work out. But work a plan out. I went to a church in early 2000s, and I said, now, this is what I want when I walk in the door. That's what I want. And I said, if you can't give me that in a year's time, I want this, and I want that, then we'll go from there.
Right.
Work out a plan. Figure out what it is you want to do. If you're going to do full time, especially these younger fellows, go in to some training that gets you qualified to do that. That'll help you.
Man, that's good, helpful stuff. I know so many friends that play for a living. And they are really good, phenomenal musicians. But if they get sick, they don't have any insurance. You know, if their car breaks down or they break a finger, they don't have any insurance. So what do you do when your finger is broken or you sprain your wrist and you play full-time for a living and you don't have insurance, you don't have benefits, you don't have another job that's not solely playing? You know, and it took for me a long time. I think I've been doing this over 20 years, and I'm just now getting to the point where I can say I have benefits. I have full-time benefits. You know, if I get sick, I don't have to worry about getting somebody to put me on their insurance, you know. And I think that's important, Keith, because, you know, no matter how good you play, someday you're going to get sick. Someday you're going to need some help, and the church alone is not going to be able to do it. You got to take care of your business. I think that's good. I'm going to hold off my next question, but I want you to play something, Pastor. What's a good song, something that you, from the 2000 era, something?
And I'm going to tell you now, the only song, I'm not that kind of orientated right now.
Okay.
2000, if it's 2000, it's got to have a traditional flavor.
And
I will play a little bit of the song that we did with our choir for Sunday. My hallelujah belongs to you.
Okay. Now the thing I love about what you just said, but you don't realize how much you blessed. You know your lane.
Oh yeah.
You're
I ride my lane, and I ain't gonna get in the fast lane. I'm not gonna ride in the Cadillac lane, driving a Pinto. I know what I can and cannot do. I don't market myself that way. I know younger men such as yourself and other young men, they play circles around me as far as abilities. Now, even me right now, I have diabetic neuropathy. So my feeling, and I play a lot with feeling with my feet. Okay. Sometimes I miss because of that reality. And so I do not try to compete with anybody.
Pastor, you've been in the game 40 years.
I play like I play.
And listen, what do you have to prove? You've been doing this since the 80s.
Yeah, I ain't trying to prove nothing to nobody. For a long time, I was the funeral organizer. Everybody had a funeral. They would call me, but I rocked the funeral.
Hey, you tore it up. You got a little coin. Got a little piece of money.
I don't try to do anything that I cannot do.
That makes sense. That's,
I don't try to market myself.
So bless us, Pastor. Listen, whatever you want to do, you don't even have to do my hallelujah. Whatever you want to do.
I don't know. Let me see. I'll try a little bit of that. I did.
I mean, you don't have to do that. Whatever you want to do.
Well, I tell you what. Let me do my song.
Do your song.
Part of my testimony, and I've got to do this a little old.
I love it. You sing. Hold on, Pastor. You sing too. All right.
That song has significance to me. In 2006, I was called, 2005, to pastor Little Piney Grove Missionary Baptist Church, Little Piney Grove Baptist Church down the Creed section of Virginia Beach. And, the prophet lie went out. That I would not be there beyond a year. And just about 2 weeks before the year anniversary, I was sick. I had appendicitis. I took blood thinners, and it was an emergency, so they were trying to get my blood consistency thick enough to do surgery. But at the same time, the poison was there.
Wow.
And they couldn't wait. And after I had the surgery, I began to bleed internally.
Oh, wow.
I went into shock. And I went out somehow or another. And when I was awakened, I was afraid because I didn't know what had happened. I was in a different room. I was in ICU. And all those things had happened. And the nurse talked to me for a while and explained to me. And when she left the room, in my weak voice, that's the song the Lord gave me.
Oh, wow.
Lead me. I'm weak and I need thy strength and power to help me over my weakest hour. Let me through the darkness thy face to see. Lead me,
oh Lord.
That's my song.
I love it.
That is my testimony. And I say to anybody, allow the Spirit of the Lord to lead you. That's all we're talking about today. Ability, knowing the state of the art about music, knowing theory, that's good. But you have to be anointed to do this thing.
Have to be
You
anointed.
have to be. In the Old Testament, they were taught, 2 Chronicles, 5th chapter, they said they prophesied with the harp, they prophesied with the lyre, and they prophesied. The closest thing that they could use, the translators for King James, was to say prophesied, to talk about anointed playing. You can play with ability and skill all day, but except the Spirit of God is there. Because worship is in spirit and truth.
In truth.
And so those songs are the songs that I relate to. I can play some more contemporary things. I've never been one to try to floor show.
Right.
And like I say, I stay in the lane that I'm in, and I don't try to go beyond that.
And I think the thing that I've grasped the most from what you were saying, Pastor Turner, is that I'm kind of thinking of myself. I know my lane. I know what I do well. I know my weaknesses also. So with that said, I pray to God to anoint me to do what I know I do well. And because I ask God to anoint me and I really have a relationship with God, he grants me that petition almost every time I sit the organs in some way, shape, or form. I believe that relationship supersedes gift and talent all day.
And this is what I try to help people say. We think that somehow or another, the way God used to do it doesn't work anymore. I heard Dr. Tony McNair talk about how Dad put him on the organ and began to pray. You didn't have, you just sat down and they prayed and they anointed and you played until you learned how to play. You didn't have any theory. You didn't know A from E. You didn't know sharp from flats.
That's right.
All you knew
is
that the service was about to start and you needed to play because the choir was getting ready to sing, the folk were getting ready to sing. Some training is essential for what it is that you're called to do, but you got to have relationship, and I believe that worship is an exclusivity of the believer. The Bible says you must, not optional, worship Him in spirit and truth. So worship is not accomplished because you have ability to play. It is not accomplished.
It's not accomplished. Yes, sir.
You may be able to ride the wave of the Spirit as you are accompanied with other anointed people in a church service. And that doesn't mean that you have the anointing. It's just because the name of Jesus is there. The stamp of the approval of that church is there by the Holy Ghost.
Wow.
And you think you got it because you played and the Spirit moved in that service. Because anointed people were there, that you have it. That's proven by the 7th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. Jesus said they will prophesy. They will cast out devils. They will do many wonderful works in my name. And Jesus is going to say to them, depart from me, I never knew you. And see, if he never knew you, you're not a backslider. Because he's married to the backslider. If he never knew you, you're just not saved at all.
Wow, Pastor, I never thought about it like that.
You know, and I tell people, don't allow what you are able to do, and because you're hired. Pastors, the same thing. You can get up and know how to give a homiletic discourse, and because the Spirit of God is there, God is going to move.
Right.
But have you been born again? And that's important.
Now, Pastor, you said something that I want to segue into another part. How is it as a pastor? You know, I always ask questions about the relationship between the three: the pastor, the minister of music, the organist. But in this case, you are all three. So how do you handle these moments as a pastor, you know, in those moments where the Lord may be leading you to move in another way, but do you get up from the organ? Do you stay and you assist the move with the music? Or how do you handle being a pastor and a musician?
Well, I generally stay where I am.
Okay.
Until it's time for me to preach. But there are times, you know, I had to get up from behind the organ and dance. You know, and I just slide all over the place. I let the Lord have his way. Because I don't need no music to shout. I just need the Holy Ghost and the joy of the Lord.
I know that's right.
And so, but most of the time I stay on the organ. I have 6 elders that serve under me. I'm an assistant pastor. So they know that even though I'm playing, that I'm the officiant.
Yeah.
So any moves that take place, of course, as the music minister, I can slip right into worship leader without a problem.
Yeah.
And then the person who is my pulpit manager or the worship leader for that Sunday morning, they will give way to me and allow me to move in the way the Lord would have me to move. But most of the time, I play until it's time for me to get preached. And when I go into my hoop or whatever, I don't think I got best in the world, but I don't have anybody to play for me. I'm certainly not going to play for myself.
I know.
So I just got to, sometimes I try to stay low and get excited to get too high, but serving in both capacities is something the church, they said, Pastor, we want you to stay in that capacity until someone comes along that you feel is proficient enough to take us, keep us where we are, and at least take us higher.
Now, Pastor, one more question before I ask you to play one more time. How do you manage, you know, being a pastor and all it entails with serving the sick, preparing lessons in Bible study, Sunday school, what have you, sermons, and then you have to learn music for your music department. You have to teach songs. So not only are you learning from the pastor, you're learning from the musician, and then you have to teach the parts. So you learn from the director. How do you balance? And I see that you have a wedding man, so you're married. You know, how do you balance church, music, and family?
Well, for one, the thing that I prioritized before I got married is that family is first. So none of that comes before my family. So the family is first, because the prerequisite for me serving is that my family life is together.
So say that one more time, Pastor.
First. That's your first ministry. And I do not take the position that I'm married to my church. Because the church only has one husband, biblically, and that is the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the bridegroom. So when I was installed, I had the announcement made, do not make any reference to me being married to this church. This church has one husband, and that's Jesus Christ. I'm married to Anastasia Cheryl Christian. And she's first. My priority to the pastor, she understands that. But this did not start for me when I went to the church. At 22 years old, when I was playing as the almost full-time minister of music at New Olive Missionary Baptist Church. During that time, I was the music minister. I was an assistant manager at Rep Big and Tall, and worked 44 and a half hours a week. I taught Bible study because our pastor was part-time. So I had choir rehearsal on Monday night. I taught Bible study on Wednesday night. I worked the youth ministry on Friday night. And I had choir rehearsals on Saturday, and sometimes a potluck along with that. I played at 7:30 in the morning, and I played at 11 o'clock. And the Sundays that I worked, 10:45, I played until I could play no more, until I had to go to work at Rep Big and Tall. So I've been doing this for years. It didn't just start.
Right.
So I'm doing less, if you will, now.
Wow.
than I was back then. But I have learned that worship is my life. It's my life.
That's key.
I'm a worshiper.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a pastor 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm on call. I have, and that didn't start, what the Holy Ghost has put in me. Now, what I've got to go back to, and I don't want to take a whole lot of time, is that when I was at St. Stephen's and couldn't play, I got off of the bus stop in high school at St. Stephen Church of God in Christ and snuck in on the right side because I didn't want Chairman T.I. O's to catch me in church. That was Superintendent O's grandfather. But I would go out in that church and I would lay on the altar. I would pray and play the little stuff I knew, and I would pray. And I was asking God to mold me, to make me, and to shape me at that age. So before I had any kind of, if you would say, limelight, I spent that time praying, preparing, fasting. I had a friend of mine, Michael O's. We would spend our lunch ministering to those at First Memorial High School evangelistic work. So that worship lifestyle began in me. And I didn't look for any notoriety. I wanted to make certain that I was pleasing to the Lord. That was the thing for me.
Wow.
So now it's, I have several obligations. I'm a chaplain with the police department in Elizabeth City. I'm volunteer of the year for J.C. Sawyer Elementary School. I'm volunteer for the district on top of all that I do in the ministry.
Wow, that's amazing how you can bring balance, and no one goes without, your wife doesn't go, your church doesn't go, your music ministry doesn't go, the chaplaincy doesn't go, because you've been doing balance for years, so you had a lot of practice to get it right.
And my wife has always been supported in ministry with me. So she serves in the choir. And we made the choice that full-time ministry was going to be what I was going to do a year after we were married.
Oh, wow. How long you been married, if I may ask?
I've been married for 19 years, August 21st. A while ago, you may be older than I am. I'm only 46 years old. But it'll be 19 years in August.
Wow. Man, Pastor, I'm enjoying this sound teaching. I think sometimes we get away from the basics of what we're called to do as far as musicians, minstrels, Levites, because we get so caught up in every other thing besides the purpose of ministry, laying on your face, having a relationship with God, practicing to develop your craft, witnessing to those to strengthen your gift, and, bringing balance. You spoke about all those things, and I find myself in it. I work full-time in ministry during the day. I work full-time here in the evening as minister of music, and, as manager for my wife and her music career, I just find it, balance is key. And I still can make time for my children to take them out and have a good time. And I just appreciate everything you were saying. It was just so refreshing to hear from a senior statesman, such as yourself. So, Pastor, I'm actually play another song before we close out. This is not always Remember Jesus. This is whatever you want to play.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pastor, listen, I knew you had that travail in you. I knew it was there. Pastor, I am so excited that you took time to talk. Now, I do have one question. This is my final question. When it's all said and done, when everyone asks who was Joseph Turner, not Pastor Turner, not Minister Elder Turner, who was Joseph Turner? What would you want that legacy to have been?
One thing that I desire of the Lord, that will I seek after.
Yes, sir.
That I may dwell in the house of the Lord forever, and inquire in his temple. Amen. That Joseph Turner sold his life to Christ. And he wanted to live and die being pleasing to the Lord.
That's amazing. I don't even know what to say, Pastor. Out of all the interviews I've done, you know, a lot of people give me some great reminders, but to say one thing that I desired of the Lord, you know, that says a lot about who you are, Pastor. We're going to have to stop, Pastor, because we don't want to. Yes, sir.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Let me say this, somebody watching right now. The power of the enemy has been assigned to your life. And I'm saying that because of what Paul said. 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, he said he was caught up to the third heaven. I don't know if it was the ability to play very well, to preach in awe-inspiring way. But he was caught up to the third heaven. And the word of God said, unless he should be exalted above measure.
Above measures.
He was given a thorn in his flesh, a messenger from Satan sent to buffet his flesh. The diabetic issues that I've had to deal with last year, 2016, I almost died because of an infection. The doctor said he didn't have any patients who had that much poison in their bodies.
Oh, wow.
But let me say this to you. You feel like Satan has been assigned to your ministry to attack and to destroy. But if you take the testimony that the Apostle Paul held to, is that the demons were sent to him to keep him at a place of humility. I thank God for the impediments that I had early on that did not allow me to go to these platforms of grandeur, because he needed me to be where I am today.
Wow.
And so I say to you, you might be struggling in your ministry. You may not have an assignment that pays you as much as you want to pay. The appreciation is not there. I've been there. Let me tell you something. I thank God for every valley. Thank God for every demonic attack, because it only revealed the glory of God that was invested in my life. So that's my lasting testimony, is that God gets the glory out of my life.
Well, Pastor, I am so honored and inspired. I'm the better for you coming today, and I'm just elated that you took time to come all the way from Elizabeth City to Chesapeake, Virginia, to just to be on When Tower Talks. I'm really appreciative. So
it's a privilege for me to be here. I really appreciate you.
So as I've always said and always done, I'm always asked everyone to end the interview with always remember Jesus in your own way, form, or fashion. And before you do that, listen, I know I'm peeping around. Listen, y'all share this video. There's some good information, good basic fundamental principles that we need. I don't know if you all see me because I can't see myself. But yeah, y'all share this video. So however you want to play it, it's something you If you all enjoyed this, give me some hearts. I know you all enjoyed it. Listen, thank you all for tuning in. Whenever you see the hashtag When Tidewater Talks, it's going to be something promoting music, pastors, choirs, something promoting music. So share this video. Stay tuned for the next When Tidewater Talks, and have a great day.